Detective Mike Thompson stared at the wet footprints leading to the bank's vault. It was 3 a.m., and the rain outside hadn't stopped for hours. The alarm system had been triggered 20 minutes ago, but when the police arrived, they found no signs of forced entry. "Interesting pattern," Mike mumbled, crouching down to examine the prints more closely. They weren't normal shoe prints. They formed an unusual zigzag pattern, as if the person had been dancing. Officer Jenny Roberts appeared beside him. "The vault's empty, sir. $2 million in cash. Gone. But here's the strange part. All the security cameras stopped working at exactly 2:43 a.m. Mike nodded, his eyes never leaving the floor. "What about the night guard?" "Found him sleeping at his desk. Claims he doesn't remember anything after his midnight coffee break." The detective pulled out his notebook, which was already damp from the humid air. The bank's ceiling was leaking in several places, creating small puddles on the marble floor. But something about those puddles caught his attention. "Get me the maintenance records for the past month," he ordered. While waiting, Mike walked the perimeter of the vault room. Footprints stopped abruptly, near the far wall, as if their owner had vanished into thin air. The rain continued to drum against the windows, creating shadows that danced across the floor. Jenny returned with a thick folder. "Here you go, sir. But I don't see how this helps." Mike flipped through the pages quickly until he found what he was looking for. "Just as I thought. They replaced the air conditioning system last week." He pointed to the ceiling. "Look up there." Jenny followed his gaze to the new vents installed above the vault. They were significantly larger than standard ones. "But that's impossible," Jenny protested. "Even if someone came through the vents, how did they get past the laser security system?" Mike smiled. "The rain is our answer. Notice how the leaks are positioned? They're not random." He walked around the room, pointing at each puddle. "They form a perfect path through the laser grid. Someone knew exactly where to place them." "You mean?" "Yes. Our thief created these leaks deliberately. Water disrupts laser beams. They used the rain as cover, timing their heist perfectly with tonight's storm." Mike pulled out his phone and dialed. "Get me everything you can on the AC installation crew from last week. Especially anyone with a background in dance." Jenny looked confused. "Dance? Those aren't random footprints," Mike explained. "They're ballet steps. Our thief is a dancer who knows how to move precisely. They use their training to navigate between the puddles without triggering the floor sensors." Within an hour, they had their suspect, Maria Torres, a former ballet dancer turned AC technician. She had installed systems in 3 other banks that were robbed in the past year, all during rainstorms. But Mike wasn't done. "The money's still here," he said confidently. "How can you be sure?" "The footprints. They only show someone entering, not leaving. With $2 million in cash, you'd see a difference in the depth of the prints. Plus, this storm's supposed to last until morning. Our thief is planning to retrieve the money once the investigation is over." Mike ordered a complete search of the ventilation system. Sure enough, they found the money stashed in a sealed waterproof bag, hidden in a section of ductwork just outside the vault room. They caught Maria Torres 3 hours later when she tried to return for the money. She was wearing ballet shoes with a distinctive tread that matched the prints perfectly. As they led her away in handcuffs, the rain finally began to ease. Mike stood at the bank's entrance, watching the sunrise break through the clouds. Jenny joined him. "How did you know to check the maintenance records?" Mike smiled, closing his notebook. "In my experience, Officer Roberts, criminals often follow patterns just like the rain. You just have to know where to look for them." The puddles on the floor were already beginning to dry, erasing the last traces of the rain's deadly dance. But for Detective Mike Thompson, they had revealed just enough to solve another case.